We'll have live questions, and we'll have questions that emailers have sent in over the last month.
That's right, baby.
Stick with us. We're going to do some quick news, and then we're going to jump into some... what are we going to play, Clint?
I think we had talked about possibly doing good old Rocket League. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to play some Rocket League.
I need to grab my controller real quick.
Yeah, better get it. And we'll do a question and answer while we're playing. This will be interesting. All right, I'm ready. Ready to get this chicken kicking. It'll be a fun night. You ready, Hunter?
Yeah.
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 All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
All right. And Ryan, when we come out of the gate on the news, I'll probably give it to you first, just so I can kind of get my bearings about me.
Yeah, you're good. I'm ready. I'm gonna rock and roll. Get him with some newsy, woozy, floozy doozy. You know what I'm saying?
Floozy, son. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. All right, let's get it. On this episode of the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast.
Count them. 1, 2, 3 speedrunners against one level.
We answer your questions.
And it's all about the vampiresses with the big breastises.
What?
And now, the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast.
And happy 100th episode to all you Delirious Dads out there. That's right. It's episode 100 of the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast.
Oh, yeah. We've been at this.
A long time, baby. You know, we're turning into veterans at this point. You know, getting the practice in at this point. Well, I'm Clinton Stanley, and I'm here with...
Ryan. Big Rye. Rye. However you want to call me.
The Huntsman 420, baby.
Yeah. Wow. 100 blazing steaks, baby.
Hey, I'll just say, man, I'm just proud to be a part of something 100 times.
Right? I mean, it took dedication.
Right. That takes some dedication. I mean, are you talking 100 weeks?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we've been sick. We've had to fight off house, quote unquote, repossessions. You know, we've had kids.
Wow.
You know,
it's true. It's been a crazy year.
It's been like, you know, who the heck knows what's going on? So here we are, episode 100. Glad you guys are still here. You know, the same three still doing their thing. Pretty rare.
On a personal level, it feels like we're all three kind of climbing out of some hell a little bit. You know?
Yeah, for
but
sure.
As a nation level, it's a little rough. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I don't know. I feel like I had a pretty good 2020. I mean, I got a new house.
Yeah.
I got a new truck.
Well, you just climbed out first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had some hard times right before that, and then if you never had any hard times, Hunter, just act like you did so we can,
Yeah.
feel camaraderie. Yeah.
Hey, someone's dog is really excited about this podcast. I don't know whose dog though.
She's outside. You usually don't hear her, but I don't know. She's just getting it. I'm sorry.
I just had some terror across my face because I thought, oh no, if that's my dog, my son's gonna wake up.
No. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, yeah, it's not your dog, Hunter. It's Ryan's stinky old dog.
It's okay. She won't bark long, and I'll mute it while I can.
Okay, you're good. I just want to make you aware of it. I didn't know whose dog it was. I just knew my dog's not that big, so it's more like a yip than a real bark.
Oh yeah.
So tonight on the 100th episode, we decided to do things a little bit different. It's going to be a little more relaxing. So we're going to do gaming news because we feel like there's always, something to talk about. And this week there was a decent amount of things happening, especially if you're a Resident Evil fan. So we're gonna talk about that. And then afterwards, and really during, we're going to do a question and answer session. We've got some questions that were emailed into us over the last month or so that we've just kind of collected. So we're going to be asking those questions to the guys, as well as myself. And then if you're in the live stream, feel free to ask any question you want, and then we will deem if it's appropriate, as far as, sexual.
If it's not appropriate, we may still mention the fact that you asked a question. We just won't read it for everybody to hear.
We may even give innuendos if it's a good enough question.
Then everybody will know that you're a perv.
Or maybe it doesn't have to be sexual, just anything that's not quite right for the show. But we could always answer some of those once the actual podcast is over. And if we continue playing, we may go into a darker hole. You never know.
True. And so during the question and answer session after the news, we will be also playing Rocket League. So on the audio podcast, you're going to hear a little bit of Rocket League in your background. Hopefully that doesn't mess it up too much for you. But we just want to kind of relax for 100 and just enjoy it. Try to interact with our group of people. So that's kind of where we land on that. Any gaming going on for you guys before we get started here?
I have not been gaming much because we're just trying to cram in the end of teardown season, but they're on their last 2 days of teardown, and then Christmas season is over for this year.
Okay.
It's been a really good year for us, though, so it's good.
Okay.
Done a little bit of Rocket League, actually. Got back into it a little bit.
Okay.
Because Jay and then also my brother has asked me to play it a couple times, so I've done that. Actually jumped back into Fall Guys for the first time in a little while. And then that's about it, except for I've been playing some Tomb Raider on my PlayStation.
Okay.
Now that you say that, I have played some Fall Guys with Rory quite a few times lately. So
there you go.
Actually, I wanted to look into it because Fall Guys almost has a feel like they may have, and I can't remember, maybe I didn't play Fall Guys on this computer. I think we did. But it feels like maybe they're ranking now because it seemed a lot easier to make it to that final round than it used to be for me. And, every once in a while I'd make it there, but this was like, I felt like I was doing bad and still ended up like 20 out of 40. And I'm like, what?
You may
so I don't know. Better. Maybe.
But I mean,
maybe.
You and Hunter both have crowns. I don't. So,
I mean, that game is made for kids.
True.
So.
Yeah, well, it is. I played a little bit of Warzone last night, and then I played with Jay, Reckless, and Creeper. And they decided they wanted to jump over to Overwatch right as I was getting on the Warzone. So we did a couple games of Warzone, and then we hopped over to Overwatch, and it was just a slaughter fest. We couldn't beat anybody. Yep.
That's because you didn't invite me. That's really why.
Then after that, Justin and Reckless wanted to hop on WoW, and so we did a little bit of that. Had a little.
Was it? I thought it was last night when Hunter said he was going to play, but then never ended up writing back. Maybe it was this weekend, like Saturday or something. I think it was Saturday. Maybe.
Yeah, it was Saturday, I think. Yeah, that's
good. That probably wasn't yesterday because I was like, no, I'm not getting on tonight. I was watching a new anime.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, well, I think that's where we stand then on our gaming. At least we're doing something.
Yeah, a little bit. It'll kick right back up this next week.
It will. I think we'll get back into a good flow, I think, soon.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. Well, let's get to the news so then we can get to the juicier stuff, which is the questions that are floating around on the internet. All right, let's get it.
All right. Well, first thing I've got for you guys is to wait on the transition.
League 4 Geeks.
All right. Now the real first thing.
That's amazing.
Microsoft messed up. And if you guys haven't heard about this, I don't think I've ever seen a company, especially a company as big as Microsoft, who takes these backsies so quick. Microsoft decided, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to jack up our price on Microsoft Live. They changed it from used to be $9.99 a month and $24.99 a month for 3 months, and then $39.99 for 6 months. They changed it to $11, which doesn't seem like that's not that bad. You're talking about $1, you know. Mm-hmm. But they've got millions of users, so they're like, hey, that's millions of dollars a month if we just bump this up $1. But then on the 3 month, it goes up to $30 from the $24.99, so it goes up $5, which doesn't really make much sense, right? Because you're talking $1 a month is what the single months went up.
Yeah.
So then 3 months should have went up less than $1 a month because you usually get a discount, but it went up $5. Then they really got greedy on the 6 month, and it went up $20, right?
Well, yeah.
But that should have only went up $6 or less, even if you were following their new pay plan. And it went up to $60 for the 6 month. And I get, okay, so now for 6 months you're only going to save $6 is what they changed it to. So if you were paying the regular monthly, it would have been $66, right? And then this, but you had such a big discount before when you pay the yearly or the 6 month, which I guess the yearly's gone. I went on and looked, and I don't know how long that's been gone because I haven't bought a year of Xbox Live in a while. But on the Xbox Live website, it just lists 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. It doesn't list a year. So everybody outraged. They posted this $60 for 6 months. People lost their minds. I mean, Twitter, Facebook, social media of all kinds, probably even Parler, even though they kind of don't exist anymore. It was just everybody saying this is outrageous, this is crazy. And that night at midnight, boom, they turned it all back. They said, we're sorry. They didn't just turn it back. They came out and made a statement on Twitter. They said, today was not great. Just the way they wrote this is so weird. They said, today was not great. We always try to do our best for you, and today we missed the mark. We hear you, and we revised our Xbox Live pricing updates. It's just like,
wow.
Today was not great. They probably broke the internet over you. You know what I mean?
You're as hot as the Bernie Sanders meme.
Now look, you know what? People probably would not have got upset. Said they went from 10 to 11, right? Mm-hmm. And say they went from 24 to 26, and say they went from 40 to 45. They still could have made a lot of money, and people would have been like, meh, it's been a long time since Xbox gone up. But that's not what they did. Mm-hmm. They pushed it in really weird ways, and they pushed the ones that usually give you a big break, and they took away your break for paying more at once. So it's kind of like, why would you pay for 3 months $30 when you could just pay monthly $11? Other than the convenience, who cares about $3? It's not a good enough break. And so as I was sitting here thinking about it, well, first let me hear your opinion, guys, of why did they try to do this, and why go back on it so quickly?
I think they were trying to see what they could get away with. They thought, let's go for it. And, because usually a company, when they're just dead set and they've made a decision, they kind of stick with that decision, and they just kind of take the bad guy badge. You know what I'm saying? So
they don't bounce around so much.
Yeah. So this almost seems like, hey, let's gouge it, see if we can get it. If we can't, well, we can always roll it back.
They were testing the waters.
Yeah. One of the things that popped up in my head was, and this may be anecdotal because I haven't done enough research, guys. So if you're listening, I haven't done enough research to know how well the Xbox X is doing versus the PlayStation 5. But it seems like PlayStation 5 is taking all the news. That's my kind of round viewpoint. I haven't looked that tight. I know both have still been sold out, but I think the ones that are getting, bought and sold for double is the PlayStation, not the Xbox. The Xboxes I think are marked up a little. The PlayStations are still like scalp central. So, you got to think that hurts them a little bit, right? Because that means people are actually being into the PlayStation more now that it's out, even with the huge Cyberpunk fail. And so then that makes me wonder if they were doing this to try to make up for some of the market loss. That's my first thought.
Yeah.
Then as I was thinking about it more, I thought, I wonder if these guys, if you guys pay attention to Xbox at all and you're an Xbox guy or even a PC guy nowadays, they've been pushing the Game Pass like crazy. All kinds of advertisement for it and really adding a lot of games to it. And it has been getting good. It's a great value for sure. And we've talked about it on the show before, but I think they might have been trying to close the margins between Game Pass and Xbox Gold, because if you get Game Pass Ultimate, you automatically get Xbox Gold. And so I think there could have been some strategy saying, here, if we push this price up enough, maybe a lot of these people will just go, let's just get Game Pass, right? And then their market for the Game Pass expands like crazy and people fall in love with it, and that'll help them. I think they just underestimated how many people were only going to care that their price hiked and not the fact that we could just upgrade. Because before that's to me, that's a bad thing. Why would there be such a close margin between something that's such a big package, Game Pass, versus Xbox Gold? And Game Pass versus the normal Xbox Gold price is already a way better value to me. So if you close that margin, for me, I kick back in the opposite way and I go, well, what the freak here? They're way overcharging for this. And it wouldn't make me feel like jumping up. It would make me just upset, which I think is what happened with the general public. I don't know if that's their actual theory, guys. There is no, obviously they're not going to come out and go, hey, this was our plan to get everybody with the Xbox Game Pass thing.
Right. Yeah.
But I did look up Xbox Game Pass just to see what the price difference is. And yes, it's still a good price. We're looking at the PC has gone up because it's not an experimental anymore. So it's $9.99. It was $4.99 for a long time. The Ultimate, which is PC and Xbox, you get it both. That's $14.99, and then for the console only, it's $9.99.
Okay.
So if you do the Xbox Ultimate, it gets you live with it. So you're talking about $5 more. You've got your games on the PC, games on the Xbox, and you get your Xbox Live with it. And right now, it's $1 for 3 months.
Well, that's a good deal.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't even know why you guys are signing up for Gold anyways, if that's the direction that I think is by far the bigger value. But, I guess if you're signing up a bunch of kids, right, you got multiple kids or something, you're signing them up maybe on Xbox Live, that makes sense. And I didn't even look to see if they've got like you pay the whole year, you get a discount type thing. But they probably do. Let's see here. It says also includes $9.99 Xbox Gold value, which you don't get that if you get the PC or console alone. You only get the Xbox Gold for free if you buy the Ultimate.
Okay.
You get EA Play with it. I think that's an add-on that you don't get with the other ones too. But no, it doesn't say. You don't get a discount if you buy a year, or at least it didn't say on here.
Okay.
Either way, I think it's a good deal. So,
nice.
What you got? What you got, Clint?
Well, we got a couple quick newses sessions here, and then we're going to move over to Resident Evil, which is kind of has 3 different things going on with it. Yeah, a lot of news. They did the Resident Evil showcase late last week, so we're going to catch up on that. Okay. But first off, Cyberpunk 2077 is getting official mod support. Says that they've given PC Tinkers a jump start that will help you modify and create your own experiences in the world of Cyberpunk 2077. The article here on GamesRadar.com states that historically CD Projekt Red has been supportive of mods for its games, but between its more restrictive engine and its actual in-house support, those mods have never reached Skyrim levels of depth or absurdity. But we'll see what they can do with this. We've seen it lengthen several games. You have, we've seen it obviously with Skyrim. That's still a game that's, I think, has its own place, right, in the community. You got games like GTA, which on their single player, it still gets tons of mod support. Plus, you have the RP mod for that. And then, of course, the game we played, DayZ. Another example of how these mods can kind of lengthen the life of a game. So this is probably good for Cyberpunk 2077. I did just want to mention for the people that did pre-order that game, that looks like you're now going to get access to that. It does not say here whether that's going to be on PC only or if they're going to extend that over to console.
Mm-hmm.
But I did just want to mention it. I know they have a lot of work to do as far as on their end. So.
Well, and one of the other things that's real big in this, you think of about a mod game. Most of these big mod games are multiplayer games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not single player campaigns. You do see some of it that way, but you see a lot of it in the multiplayer. And that is one of the big things that Cyberpunk, has started leaking, that multiplayer is coming. We're starting to learn some of the things that are happening for multiplayer. We don't know when yet. We don't know all the features. But from all the news we've got so far, it is going to go multiplayer, which is what we talked about early on. We said, doesn't this game seem like a multiplayer game? But they didn't mention that in the pre-stuff. You never really knew, was it going to be or was it not going to be? We talked about that on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Now it seems that it is going to be. I don't think it's just like little leaks. I'm pretty sure it's stuff that Cyberpunk's actually put out, listing some of the features that are going to come with multiplayer. I haven't dove into it. I plan on diving into it on the next episode, if you guys join in, and we'll kind of give you whatever details we have up to now. I know there's also been some pretty big updates, and the game has gotten a little less glitchy, and people hate it a little less.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing some of the stuff they said they were going to do. Real rough start, but they're moving pretty quickly on trying to keep their audience. And I think this mod thing is going to help for sure.
Yeah, that's good. We also have here some Last of Us 2 news that I wanted to share. Looks like The Last of Us 2 has won the most awards of any game so far, according to a Game of the Year tracker.
Wow!
This was spotted by user Australia on the Last of Us subreddit. Naughty Dog's sequel bagged 261 awards in 2020, according to the Game of the Year tracker website, GameAwards.net. When compared to the top earners in preceding years, this figure shows The Last of Us 2 has become the game to receive the most so far. Says the website pulls together awards given by media outlets and Readers' Choice Awards. Shows you the games which won the most each year. It does say starting 2003 and going up until 2020. You can take a look back at which games came out at the top of each year. It says The Last of Us 2 only just overtakes the likes of CD Projekt Red's The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which it earned 260 wins altogether back in 2015. So that should show you that the game's definitely worth playing for that RPG element.
That's one that skipped past me because I was in the no internet zone. That's one that's been on my mind for this whole year.
But that's a good one that we could still get and play together. A single player experience.
Yep. As long as we get some more time.
Yeah.
There's plenty of games we want to play. We got to get some more time to play.
Let's just make this our job, guys. Come on.
Yeah, let's get it. Well, Ryan, what was the other one that you had, brother?
The other news story I've got here is about some speedrunners playing a game called Hitman 3. Okay,
I've heard of that game.
Yeah, this game is now released. It's doing really well, and they've got 3 speedrunners that have worked out how to beat the game's first level in how long do you think, Hunter?
Let me guess.
Don't cheat.
15 seconds.
Jeez, I would never guess that. If somebody said, how long does it take to beat a mission in Hitman? I'm so slow at that game. I would automatically think, maybe 30 seconds. No, but they did. They beat it in 9. So at least it's still lower than what you guessed. 9 seconds to beat the first level. I'm sure there's a bunch of other levels, that they're working on, but that is a world record as of right now, is 9 seconds on the first level of Hitman. It's hard to even imagine beating a game like that, a level in that kind of speed. So That's something. Did you have it on here where we're going to watch it, Clint? Or no, there was a video for it.
I didn't pull it up, but I could. If you want to give me just a second, I can pull that up.
I mean, it's a whole 9 seconds, so I think
Yeah, it was in the...
we could check it out.
Yeah,
let me check real quick and make sure this isn't one of those. It is. Never mind. Let's not do it. This is a 2-minute video of them talking about the 9-second win.
Oh,
so no,
okay.
let's not do that. Never mind, guys. Sorry. Anyways, maybe we see how fast we can beat it and see if we can get, below a minute, because I doubt it.
Well, that means we get to cheat first, right? We get to watch them do it and then try it.
No. You got to do both. You got to try to do it without looking.
Okay.
And then once we get to our fastest, we learn their technique and then try that. That's what we should do.
Okay.
That sounds fun.
I'm more on board with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good stuff. Thanks for sharing the Hitman news, brother.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get in there and play that game too. That's another
Yeah,
one.
the only reason I was gonna say the only reason I was even close in that guessing because I watched somebody play the first level the other day.
Oh, really? Is it a real short level?
No, but if we see, there's 2 ways you can play Hitman. You could play it really sneakily, or you can just go in there run and gun.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes place on a skyscraper, and once you kill the target, you just jump off of the skyscraper and parachute.
Okay.
So I imagine what they did is they just ran in, grabbed the weapon, found the target, shot them, jumped.
Okay. Of course, I've never seen the mission, guys, so that's why 9 seconds blows me away. I'm just thinking, I know I've spent hours on some missions on Hitman in the past. Obviously not the first one, but deeper into the game, you get into some of the tougher ones. And I'm trying to beat them without getting caught at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of those have been ridiculous for me.
Well, it was good enough that people wanted to talk about it, so it wasn't like it was totally not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Okay, well, it's time, Ryan, Hunter. It's time to talk about our fears. It's time to talk about Resident Evil.
I also watched the gameplay on this demo.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. So you did watch the Resident Evil stuff. I didn't know if you did or not.
I didn't watch it. I just watched somebody play the demo the other day.
You did not throw a video in.
I'm doing it right now, Ryan.
Okay, I'm just making sure you knew.
I didn't watch the showcase. I just watched a guy play the demo.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and talk about it. Resident Evil had their big showcase. As Hunter said, there was a demo, which we will talk about here. But first, we're going to get through the main part. Resident Evil Village is going to be released on May 7th, 2021. They also announced here that it will be launching, confirmed, for the PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and Xbox One.
Okay.
So there you go. You get your May 7th release. We also have some gameplay / graphics. So we're going to be primarily looking at this is the third trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to look at the trailer that they released at the showcase. See what you guys think.
Excuse me.
Gives you a little more in-depth look at the game. And then we'll also discuss this real quick. We're not going to watch the demo tonight, but we are going to mention it here. They are doing a Resident Evil Maiden demo, or they showed it at the showcase. This is a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Okay.
Okay.
So you can download it on your PlayStation 5 and play it today. So at the Resident Evil showcase, alongside the news of the exclusive PS5, like we just said, the standalone experience is going to launch later in the day. Okay, let's get past this part. We already just said that. So this demo, the big point of it is to show the graphics, the audio, that kind of thing, to showcase what the game can do, and also how it can make it a very scary, immersive experience. Says the Maiden demo doesn't take place during the main story of Resident Evil Village. Maiden was originally designed as a visual demo that would allow you to explore the inside of Dimitrescu Castle. I don't know how to say it.
That's it.
But it evolved to include a short story and puzzle solving. Unlike the main game, there's no combat in the demo, no blocking, no shooting, nothing. Instead, producer Fembino says the demo was designed to have players get a real feel for the visuals and audio as they take the maiden on a journey to find a way out of the castle. So it just sounds like
the fact that they released a demo just for that tells me it's going to be epic. They must be really proud of the visual and audio in this game.
Yeah.
Now this one is VR just like the last one, right?
I believe it's going to have VR support because it's all first person. So
yeah, and that's why I think it's coming out on. That's why your demo's coming out on PlayStation. I bet.
It looks good. So we're gonna play this trailer real quick, guys. This first trailer, see what we think, talk about it, and then we'll move on to the next piece of Resident Evil news. Okay. So
and just so you guys know that are listening in right now on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook that are watching. We're doing a special question and answer episode. If you joined in just a little bit ago, we're going to finish our news up here in a little bit, and then we're going to start playing some Rocket League while we do some question and answers from emails and you guys. So stay tuned and start firing your questions at us.
Yes, sir. All right. So you guys let me know when you're ready on the video. We'll count down 3, 2, 1, and we'll watch it together here.
Ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Positively, all right? We talked about this.
I know. We hardly talk about anything else.
Uh-oh, they're not getting along, guys.
Castle Bell heralds danger.
I mean, that looks good just on YouTube graphics alone.
The bell tolls for us all. They're coming again.
Mother Miranda, I regret to inform you that Ethan Winters has escaped that fool Heisenberg. Because he is in my castle and has already proven too much for my daughters to handle. When I find him... No, Mother Miranda. Yes, of course, I understand the importance of the ceremony. I won't let you down.
A lot of detail. Just jeez.
What the hell is going on here?
No. The place is full of nothing but blood and death.
Just a complete different vibe for Resident Evil. Really it pulls from the Resident Evil 4, I feel like.
And it's even different than that, though.
Yeah.
From what I saw the other day.
Wow, zombies with swords? What?
Well, Ethan Winters. There you are.
Yeah, so that chick's super tall.
Okay, so that looks almost like when they went the wrong direction with Resident Evil. What was that, 5? Right? And it went like to arcadey. This is going.
Let's see what you're really made of.
It's a different direction for Resident Evil, but it looks like it's staying dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a pretty big shift in storyline.
Whoa,
Who's that guy?
That looked like the dude from the last game.
What guy?
Yeah, from 7.
Yeah, the main dad. What was his name? I forget his name.
Oh yeah, surely not.
That's who it looked like, though, didn't it? Or am I just?
I can't remember for sure.
It definitely looks like someone we're supposed to know. And I looked into that guy's eyes plenty of time when he scared the piss out of me, and that looked like the guy.
You played that game the most, so I mean, I can trust you on it.
From what I could tell, looking at some of this stuff, and I don't know if you're going to cover this at all, Clinton, but they look vampire-ish.
Yeah, a lot of people have actually been upset about that. I think they said that these, like this woman and some of those are vampires. So like, why would you bring vampires into Resident Evil? And that's why I said I think they went pretty big leap on the storyline, like they've done on some other ones. But in my opinion, they kept what's important to Resident Evil, which is the darkness, the deepness of the game. And if
So-
they keep that and go a different direction, they're probably just using the name Resident Evil, you know what I mean, to come out with something different and spin in a different direction a little bit. Yeah,
Right.
I'm not against that. You know, as long
I'm
as
not
it's still
either.
a good
You just-
Resident Evil game.
You think zombies, but I definitely feel like you said, they're using the term Resident Evil and they're using a dark story. Like there's obviously some sort of like,
Yeah,
talking about the ceremony. There's obviously like a cultish type thing going on.
Right. I'm sure they're not going to get away from somehow this still being tied to the Umbrella Corp and all that because they can't. You know, that's Resident Evil. But
Or
I'm
a
definitely
strain of
interested.
their blood will be infused into the T virus or something like that.
and not to give too much away from the last game. I mean, if you haven't played it by now, just skip 30 seconds. We'll talk about it real quick. Umbrella Corporation is still involved in the end of Resident Evil 7. So, or the remnants of that. So, I would say it has to tie into this just because of Ethan being involved, because he's from Resident Evil 7. Now, with that said, people may be up in arms about, we don't like the whole vampire thing. I get that. It's not really my thing. But it depends on how they bring in the story, right? So if the virus is creating these quote-unquote vampires and werewolves, because we know there's a werewolf-looking dude in the game. We've seen him in the main trailer when they did the first reveal. So I don't know. It kind of depends on how they deliver it, right? Because there were crazy creatures in the Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 1.
Right, there's always been weird creatures. It's definitely not just a zombie story.
These creatures, the other ones though, are mutations of the virus. So it's, what they won't get away with, like you're saying, is if we just have a story with vampires and
that's what I'm saying. They have to be tied into Umbrella Corp. Yeah.
Like, what the crap is this? It's going to have to tie into the lore of the whole Resident Evil story. So I'm excited to see that. It's also, if you look at the past and the newer Resident Evils that we've seen in the next gen, the trailers give you a snippet, but it's never as deep as the actual story goes.
And it never really feels like the way that
like I feel like when they showed the trailer or demo to 7, it was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like it was completely different than what the actual game introduced to us.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
The demo was you alone in this house and there's this crazy girl and you're thinking, okay, I just got struck with this haunted house. And then you get the actual game and see that, oh no, it's this whole family, they're messed up. Like there's just a lot more to it than, So I think that's what will be here too. There will be a big story unfolding in this, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. We'll just kind of have to see how it plays out. I mean, I feel for the people that have those feelings towards the vampire werewolf route that they seem to be going, but again, that could just be early mutation, right? We don't really know as things get crazy with the characters what's going to happen. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see. Now, my second, or I guess my third little tidbit here of the showcase. This one actually skipped past me. I didn't see it till after the showcase. They announced Resident Evil Reverse. So Resident Evil Reverse is a surprise announcement of a brand new multiplayer experience. And it's confirmed by Resident Evil Village producer Toshioshi Kanda that it'll be free for all Resident Evil 8 players. Says here that the tongue-in-cheek tone Resident Evil Reverse sees you taking charge of popular Resident Evil characters and pitting them against each other. Icons, this can include all icons from the series. So in the short gameplay clip, which we're about to watch, you're going to see Leon, Claire try to blast each other full of bullets in the Raccoon City Police Department, with even more stalwarts of the series then joining the action. So it says here the players will take part in a 4 to 6 player deathmatch on maps based on locations from the series, with the RPD confirmed, of course. And it says here that they can't wait to see the other areas that might be in the game. it also says here that on top of that, Resident Evil Reverse isn't the end, as players will be able to spawn back in as a bioweapon to strike back against their foes who downed them. If taking on Leon S. Kennedy wasn't hard enough already, well, get ready. So I think what that means is you're going to be a monster. Some kind of monster. So let's roll over.
That's very unexpected. It just seems like a very different direction to go.
Yeah. So let's I'm going to share that in the link for you guys so you can get it. And we're going to check
This
it
is
out.
my favorite kind of news where we get to watch videos. It's like a book with pictures.
It's kind of became a habit for me. I don't know why. I think it's more intense. I feel like it keeps us more engaged in the podcast. You're not.
Oh, yeah.
listening.
I like it.
All right. So you guys go ahead and pull that up, and I will get the trailer up here on the.
All right, I'm ready when you are. Just count us down when you're ready.
Okay. Let's switch over here. All right. In 3, 2, 1.
It's like some cel-shaded looking Borderlands stuff.
Did you notice though that was Jill?
Yep.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Whoa.
Oh, there's the bad guy from Resident Evil 7.
People might have a lot of fun with that. That's interesting, especially because it's free. It's just kind of an add-on. It's like the zombies for Call of Duty and stuff like that. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting little twist.
That's pretty crazy. I wouldn't have thought in a while that Resident Evil would have done that.
No, me neither.
I love
Out of
it,
left
actually.
field.
So that's all I've got on news, guys. That's all we got. So
All right.
That was good.
We don't have a transition for Q&A, right? This is our first time doing a real Q&A.
Yeah, this is our first time diving right in, so I don't know how this part goes. It's like, oh.
So how do you have it set up on the live stream? Does it show on there we're playing this or no?
I haven't even set that part up yet, so we're just going to kind of run with it and see how it goes here.
Can you change it?
What do you mean, can I change it?
From the podcast to playing Rocket League, or how are we doing that?
I don't think I can, so I think what I'm going to have to do is switch over to like how we watch videos. I'm just going to put a game capture on and see how it goes from there.
Cool. Are we ready to switch over right now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead and pull Rocket League up.
Yeah,
I'm launching Rocket League. Right, Mia?
I'm launching it.
I mean, for you guys, it don't matter anyway.
It don't matter.
It don't matter no more. Okay.
It's in me.
So there's no rules on the question and answer, guys. This is pretty much an excuse for us to play video games during the podcast.
Yep.
So send in your questions here live on the stream if you got any. If not, we have some emails that we're going to answer. And if you guys got any questions, if anything develops out of those said conversations, then so be it. Like I say, just don't make it too raunch for the audio part, because I don't want to have a lot of editing to do for iTunes, since I told it that we're a clean podcast. I don't know how it's I don't know what its ratings are on all that jazz.
I'm sure there's worse out there than us.
Do what?
I'm sure there's worse out there than us.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't even remember how to play this game. Like, we finally started understanding some of the air moves and stuff like that. Now I don't remember how to do anything. It's going to suck. It's going to be horrible.
So someone's going to have to let Ryan know to turn his game down, because I can tell immediately it's just loud for him.
Well, I had my settings set on here, and for some reason it's not.
Oh, mine aren't going to be either, because it's an all new computer.
I thought you played since then.
Nope, not even downloaded on here till today.
Okay.
So I've only played with bad lag.
Okay. Well, let's see what this looks like here.
I'm definitely going to bring my sound down.
All right, guys, give us just a second here as we get our ducks in a row. Just turn that off. Display capture off. All right, so we're just going to add a game capture, I believe.
Okay, this is not.
Oh, it acted like I've never played before, kind of the way it did the preview, even though I'm playing through Steam. Then it says your Epic Games account. Do we play this on Epic? I thought we played this on Steam, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, Epic Games acquired it, but you can still play. If that makes sense. Okay, so. Alright, I'm loaded in now. Well, there's an update? I didn't know there was an update.
Yeah, mine went super fast though.
Okay.
I gotta figure out though. Mine logged into my friend's account instead of mine.
Oh, how to log out?
Mm-mm.
I might switch over once we actually get it going here.
Maybe I need to switch my Epic on here. Maybe he's got his Epic pulled up. No, I'm logging into Epic. Maybe Steam. His Steam is pulled up.
That's what I'm saying. It made me log in under Epic, which I don't think this is my same profile. How did we not know this before we jumped in here? We're horrible.
What do you mean? I'm in. I'm in, baby. Yeah, there we go.
Great. I gotta remember what my freaking account name is on Steam.
Oh, so y'all's is not even. So Ryan's is completely different. Y'all's is different.
Well,
Y'all.
my friend's staying with me, and he switched it up.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it messed something up here because I'm showing I'm level 1.
Did your levels get started over because of the new season? Like, does your
I don't know. Do they start over every time?
That I don't know.
My car seems like it looks different. Like I don't remember playing with this car.
Is it purple?
No. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna turn the music down on here. For now. Turn the audio down.
Yes. Answers will be coming as soon as we get this figured out real quick.
Oh, we had questions coming in?
Gosh dang it.
I thought it was always Think About It. That's what I played with on here, right? Yeah. It's got my DDGP as my clan tag, so it seems like it's the right one.
Yeah. Maybe you just changed it at some point, or they did it.
Maybe.
Come on, dude. Really?
We'll let Hunter get logged in. Don't lock yourself out, Hunter. You don't know it. Tell it you forgot it.
I wonder why it made you even do that. It didn't make me do that. I just selected the Epic thing.
His friend got on there.
He just said that a minute ago, and I zoned out. Sorry.
Invite sent. Okay. That's a good looking car out there.
Do you remember me looking like this? I remember the grungy paint. I do remember that.
I don't see it yet.
Oh yeah, your car looks freaking sweet.
Oh, that's why.
I remember you looking grungy. Yeah.
I guess I still just thought my colors were DDG direction. I don't remember changing them.
Yeah, I don't remember what you picked on that. Honestly. How do you let us know when you're ready, bro?
Well, if my Steam ever lets me in.
Well, don't let it. If you try too many times, it's gonna lock you out.
Well, it's not saying that. It just says your password or account name correctly.
They don't tell you that. They just lock you out.
Well, I probably already locked myself out then.
No, it'll tell you when it locks you out. It just won't tell you before it locks you out.
Mine used to not, but I don't know. It's been a while.
How do you know you're locked out then?
There, guys, it just came in. I just got it.
Okay, sweet. All right. So, Ryan, did you already have a question waiting on you? Is that what you said?
Yes. Not on the live. That was just people saying, "Are you guys ready to start answering some of those questions?" And I said, "We're just about ready."
Okay.
But we'll wait till you want to launch, or you want to go ahead and start one right now. I got one from emails.
Go ahead and start. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, we've got a Jeff, which I'm sure his name is just Jeff, from Montana, and he said, "What is your very first gaming memory?"
First gaming memory ever, huh?
You sent me an invite?
Yeah, I'll send you an invite. Did you hear the question, Hunter?
Yes, first gaming memory ever.
Ever. Okay. Ever.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
I think like my fondest earliest memory is either Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation with my dad or like Tomb Raider.
Okay.
On the PlayStation with my dad.
You played stuff earlier than that, right? But you just don't. They're not really locked in as a good memory.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Vivid memory of those games.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You know, I don't either. It's hard to put together and go, okay, I remember playing like Pong and stuff like that on the Atari and having a blast. But I don't remember if that was my first or when we got an Atari later and we're playing some retro games. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think my first game I really remember is probably Duck Hunt. The first game I fell in love with was Duck Hunt. I remember just thinking it was the most awesome thing that we had these guns that we actually got to use. To me, it was just epic. It was like we're in the future. We got guns in our living room. Mm-hmm. How are they doing this? It was the best.
For me, if I'm really thinking about it, it has to be, you said Duck Hunt. So for me, it would have to be Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Was the big one for me. Because we had it. My brother was really good at it. So he was the only one that I knew of that could get to Mike Tyson. I don't remember if I ever seen him beat Mike. But definitely remember that just being like a cool thing. Because you knew Mike Tyson in that game was a huge deal, just like in real life. So, yeah. So that'd be it.
Like, that was when everything was Mike Tyson at that time.
So, I mean, that would have to be my real first memory of awesome.
I'm staying back. You guys are going, by the way.
Okay. So, yeah, for me, that's kind of where I'm at on that. So, pretty good. So, Jeff, thank you for the email, bro. And also, a reminder, guys, if you want to email us or message us, you can always go to Delirious Dads Gaming or email us at deliriousdadsgaming.com. That's where you can find us. I know that's a big email address to put in, but, you can send us something and we'll either talk about it on the show or get your question out there. So, and then, Hunter, what we kind of did was pass out the emails to each other. So we're all going to ask emails from people that have emailed us and things like that. So
my first one, are you letting me go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Somebody sent in one specific to me, so I'm going to go ahead and do that one first.
Okay, all right.
It says, Hunter, what is your favorite thing to cook? And that's a hard one because I don't really have like a special dish that I enjoy to cook the most. I would say my favorite type of cuisine to cook is probably Cajun or Creole. So like Louisiana style cooking.
I need to learn more of that. I did find that in those shrimp. I don't know if you guys remember that picture I sent you, but that guy gets that fresh shrimp, and we need to do a big boil this year. That would be a blast.
Oh man, that'd be so good. That'd be
great.
That'd be amazing.
What's your favorite cook?
Well, I wanted to let Maurice know real quick in the chat. Yeah, we're doing a little Rocket League during the podcast, so it's a little weird, I know. If you get any questions, we're doing a question and answer session. So if you got any questions or anything you want to talk about here on the podcast, go ahead and just let us know, man. He says the teriyaki chicken in Tulsa was far. So there you go.
Those of you who are new to the podcast, just joining in, what does cooking have to do with gaming and dadding? We have a segment on the show sometimes because Hunter is a chef, and he does What's Cooking Good Looking. It's basically high-end, quick meals for dads to make for their families. And so it does. People know that listen to the show, and so we get cooking questions sometimes.
I don't know, things to cook. Well, I wasn't much of a cook until Christmas time. I got the World of Warcraft cookbook from my brother-in-law Sean, and it awoken something in me that I didn't know was there. So so far,
once you start, it's fun.
Yeah, so far what I cooked that I was like most proud of and really enjoyed, even though I overcooked it a little bit, would have to be it was Great Father Winter's Winter Veil roast. So basically it was just a roast, your basic roast with your garlic and all your herbs and stuff that you mix in with it. But I made a red wine sauce that it called for. And so you cook the roast, and then once the roast is done, you cook it for about an hour in the oven. Once it's done, you make that custom red wine sauce, and you put it over your roast, and it kind of sucks in the juices. Yeah,
that sounds good.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was pretty impressed with it. Making the red wine sauce, I about lost my mind. So I did not.
Did you?
Yeah, well, because it's so dark, right? So it had a lot of different things in it, including some cloves, and I think it had I can't remember the name now. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head while we're playing, but anyway, so it had all this stuff in the sauce with it while you're cooking it, right? And so it just kind of looked kind of like a black. It just looked black, so I just thought, oh my god, I'm just burning the sauce, but I wasn't. It was just it was all the stuff that you have in there, and then once you're done cooking it, you strain it and you're good.
So that was your favorite thing to make. How did it taste?
Tasted really good. The only problem was my dad, he came over to eat with us, and whenever I pulled the roast out, it was pink, and he didn't want it pink. He wanted me to cook it a little bit longer. So I did, and then guess what it did? Made the roast too
dried
tough.
it out. Yep.
So, I mean, it was still good, but it was just definitely like, dang, I should have took it out when I had it.
Yeah, if you're going to go past done on a roast, then you have to wait for it to actually break down.
Mm-hmm. So that's where I was on that one. Okay, so Hunter, this one actually includes everybody. This one's from Dennis. He says, hold on here, I gotta get this ball in my sight first.
What is your break? It's RB.
Yeah.
LB. This whole time I'm sitting here thinking, what the freak?
So Dennis sent us an email, and he said, what is each person's process when trying to come up with ideas for their segments? This would include anything like technical setup, things you might want to say, that kind of thing.
I don't know, man. I just go with the flow usually. I will say when
you do your quiz, I think that's like a special.
All that depends on the segment, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say when I go into my gaming or my quizzes that I make, there is a lot that goes into that. I watch a lot of videos, research. We're just getting wrecked, by the way, because we're not paying attention.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Which is fine.
I need to change. Get to follow the ball. My settings are changed.
Oh yeah.
Well, you can. Oh, you don't know what button to push? You mean?
No, is it just a button that you do to switch that? Yeah, tell me.
Push triangle, it toggles your view.
Ah, see, I couldn't remember. There we go. Now all of a sudden I'm about to be a beast.
So for me, it's definitely some research. I watch a lot of Easter egg videos usually, sometimes in my free time even. So using some of those things that I learn on that, and then putting stuff together that I would like to do myself. You know, I feel like the quizzes that I make interest me enough that I would love to do those quizzes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I go by. Like, if I don't want to take this quiz, I'm not going to make Clinton and Ryan do it.
Yeah.
So I try to do that and then just be creative with what I come up with. As far as news, same thing. I like to include news stories that get people hyped or excited. You know, Clinton likes to do lawsuit stuff, but
well, see, that was going to be my next question off of that question, which would be, I would say yes. In the news, I try to pick things that I'm interested in and things that I think other people are interested in, even if I'm not. But then sometimes news is just really weak and thin, and you've just got to kind of do what you've got. And so the question would be, when there's not good news, what's your next thought there, Clint?
When there's not good news, then I kind of tend to gravitate towards what I like more, I guess. Because I figure if we think it's entertaining and exciting, then maybe someone else
the show will be better itself too, and we're going to carry the show better.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're gonna be more enthused about it.
What? Oh, that was you.
What do you?
Okay, never mind. I got it. I got really confused for a second.
So
I agree. The weaker the news, the more I pick what I'm into. That's exact same for me.
Yep. Now I will say, you know, for me, I think prep's a little bit different because I'm doing more of the streaming part of it in the background. So I would say, you know, for me, it's kind of a week-long thing, depending on what I'm working on. Like, I may make some graphics to go onto the show, just little things that I can think of. So a lot of my stuff sometimes goes into editing, which we want to get Hunter more into it, and Ryan can already kind of do it. He just hasn't done it in a while, if that makes sense, for our stuff. So I think it's just for him finding time to be able to do it. But I'm more into the graphics and the. So when we first,
I did that. My bad.
When we really got into this podcast, we wanted to do some retro stuff. Is kind of where we started moving towards. So we started doing graphics that were more retro, color schemes. That's kind of in right now. Plus, we're not really just trying to like be cool as far as what's hip right now. We actually all naturally like the 80s. So anything 80s.
We don't play a
90s.
ton of retro games. That's just the style we like, if that makes sense. So when Clint says we're trying to do more retro, we're talking about our look, our branding. But we don't really play a ton of retro games. So if that's misleading to you guys, we're sorry.
But yeah, so there's that. As far as like whenever I'm prepping for news or really, I don't know, I started doing the audio quiz, and I think that's been a lot of fun. It's a little more work, but I think that works good for our podcast. But as far as news goes, like Ryan was saying, if it's a light week, then I'm going with what I'm interested in. I still sometimes sprinkle things in that I already know of because, for instance, I play WoW. We know that. So, you know, there's people that do like that game, and so sometimes I'll sprinkle it in.
Get in there, cuz.
Good shot, right?
I did learn early on with the podcast, though, that it's good to highlight your news and just kind of hit your bullet points. When we first started doing the podcast, you'll notice a lot more reading on my end, less idea interjection. So I feel like I've made myself get better at doing that. And
none of us have been newscasters. You know what I mean? This whole thing is new for us. If you guys are listening out there, it's not like we've been doing, you know, shows and things like that forever. We just kind of started into this and said, hey, let's wing it. Let's do this. We think we're entertaining, of course, but everybody does.
Yeah.
And so it's been a lot of learning and a lot of growing.
And we're still figuring out our creative process. So to say, well, 100% what do you got down? Well, there's days where we feel a little froggy and we change it up. So, but yeah, we always appreciate feedback. If you guys like it,
set up for somebody.
So that's it on that. Well, what do you got, Ryan? I know you had another one.
Yes, I do here. Okay, let me see which one I want to do next. Just a second.
Oh, Maurice hold on, sorry to cut you off. Maurice in the live stream said, this is related back to our cooking segment a minute ago, or our cooking discussion. He says, does Hunter still have that ice hardened knife though?
Yes, I do.
Ice hardened knife. Tell me about this. What's he mean by that?
Best knife I have. It's a German ice hardened steel, and
okay.
It's a very nice knife.
Okay.
My bought it for me for my birthday one year, and that's
nice.
the best knife I have. That'll probably be, unless I go buy another knife, which I don't need to, because that one I have a sharpener for it.
Yeah.
But it's just a sturdy knife. You won't find many knives sturdier than that. It's very, very nice chef knife. Very precision cutting. I love it. It's a great feeling knife. It's different because the blade on a good knife feeds all the way into the handle, and if you can buy a lot of cheap knives that aren't that way, the blade are separate from the handle. They just kind of fit into it. But this is the spine of the blade runs all the way down through the handle. So, anyways,
okay. My question is, I'm not even going to read this right. Probably Osiris. It's not Osiris. I'm going to say it's Osiris, and I guess I'm not going to read his last name because we said we weren't going to do that. But he seems maybe Japanese. Okay, so I'm probably saying the name completely wrong.
Nice.
And his question is simply, why are you guys doing this? That's all he wrote.
Oh, so we don't know if that's good or bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, why are you making me watch this?
I'm not sure. It all matters how you want to take it, I guess. I mean, he's listened enough to know our email and send us an email, so.
Yeah, so he's listened, at least listened through one episode. Why are we doing this? Okay. Simple. We like gaming. No. We're three dads that enjoy gaming, and we wanted to
put it in, baby.
Put our opinions out there, and also kind of
just missed it.
Learn a little bit. All of us learn together, whether that be being a dad or the gaming. I don't know, industry. I feel like we've learned quite a bit in the almost 2 years that we've done this.
Yeah, I think there's multiple reasons. We all like gaming. We're dads, and we were kind of three dads in three different stages of life, so we thought that would be interesting to be an interesting take on doing podcasting and gaming and talking to people about what is it like, you know what I mean?
Right.
To try to be into gaming and all that and still be dads. So we thought that would be interesting. But then also me and Clint, we go way back, and we've always been into entertainment and graphic design. And this kind of falls into both of those. We get to play around with both of those things. Mm-hmm. And so for us, this is, I think it's just automatically part of our personality. It was like, how do we take our personality and apply it to something, that's a hobby or is enjoyable, and this kind of just fit in pretty easily. Mm-hmm. It was like, one day Clint was like, hey, I was thinking about this, and it was like, yes, we're doing it. So that's kind of how that went. And so I would say the big part of why is I think it's kind of just who we are.
Mm-hmm. And I had discussed it a little bit, and then Hunter kind of came into the fold because I had already kind of had the idea of it building in my brain. I just didn't really know.
We almost won that game, guys. I think we got distracted by the question, which is okay. We still love you guys.
Yeah, we lost a game for you in the podcast, so I hope you guys are feeling proud. But yeah, so Hunter comes along later in the process, and I just felt like Hunter was a little more into it. He was younger. He was going to be a younger dad. So it just kind of all that fit. I was already getting to know Hunter and trusted him, and I felt like he was enough different from me and Ryan that I don't know, I felt like it was a great balance, and change it up adds to the show. So we all finally just decided to sit down and got serious about it, and here we are.
100 episodes later.
Yep, 100 episodes later, a little bit less nipple hair. Here we are. So, very good question. And how did you say that name? Harkin?
I said Osiris, but I don't think I'm doing that right at all.
Okay.
But thank you for the question anyways.
Well, this one I got is from Sean. Now, Sean didn't necessarily email me. He actually texted me. And so I felt like this was good enough to put out on the show because
there it is.
Sometimes you need some splaining, okay? Mm-hmm. So Sean says, hold on, let me pull it up here. See, I can't talk and chew bubblegum like you guys. All right, so Sean says, Clint, are you drunk when you post live feeds of particular games that aren't in your stream? So there you go. So what he means is sometimes you may see that we're playing, for instance, this happened, I believe, last night. You may see that we're playing Fall Guys. You log in, we're not playing Fall Guys. We're playing Warzone, okay? So that means that Clint is not drunk. He started the game without updating the restream that we use. And by the time you start the stream with that program, you can't go back and update it. So you're stuck with what you got, and I was like, the heck with it. So, no, I'm not drunk. No, I don't. It's not that I don't care. It's just the stream has started. I'm not going to restart it.
I would actually say that's a complicated, double-edged sword kind of question. Because is he? No. Has he been? Probably.
No, that's only...
You know what I mean?
I thought that was only at... Well, I guess that's true. He's asking about all streams in general, so... Yeah,
right.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yep, so thank you for keeping me honest there, Sean. And we love you, and we really want your
we almost saved that. Who was that almost saved that? It was super close.
That was your mom.
Oh, okay.
All right, Hunter, what's the next one you got on your board, bro?
I got one from John Lee 98.
Okay.
And he says, how come your logo has a nice beard and only one of you can grow an actual beard?
Wow. Why would he talk about you two that way? That's messed up.
Yeah, that's rough.
Man. Well, I know that either way, I'm the odd man out, right? I'm Patches McGillicuddy over here. So.
No, he's definitely not talking about him.
Yeah. So, I guess that's between you guys. Who has the better beard?
It's obviously Hunter has the better beard. Yes, our character has a dark beard, so people say he looks like me. But the one with the best beard is Hunter. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I'm good within my skin. I've got a patchy beard, as Clint puts it, like a patchy Indian, because I'm native.
Nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's racist.
Well, it can't be Indian, so.
I don't.
Why do we have that? I don't know. We have the beard because we all wish we had sweet beards, and we don't.
Yeah.
That'd be my best answer.
And I think
it looks cool.
Yeah, when you think of a gamer dad, you don't really. You don't necessarily think of a clean-shaven dad all the time. You think of a...
No, most of the time not.
Today's dad, I should say. So, that's where we're at on that. I would say the logo was not made to look like Ryan, so that just kind of happened on accident.
It's because he loves me.
He really does look like Ryan. It's like dark.
Does. Yeah, it's
dark
crazy.
And everything. So I can only assume if his name is John and not just his... email, but I can only assume he was talking about Ryan. But
I think I did black just because it's more neutral. It kind of fits with a little every color scheme out there for change-up purposes and that kind of thing.
Jeez, dude!
Wow.
So,
this isn't even competitive level. This is like bottom grade.
Yep.
Nobody's flying through the air or anything.
So Hagen Piss sent us a email. He says. So far, no, not that one. He says protein or desserts, and that's all of us, I believe.
Protein or desserts.
Yep.
Wow,
that's what he asked.
Yep.
He's a dad for sure.
So it's like I don't know if he's talking about meat. Obviously he's talking about meat. So I guess he's want to know like if we're the last people standing, I don't know. So
I think it's saying if you had to pick your favorite category of food to eat, protein or desserts. I think that's a really deep question.
Yeah. We like both, so
Man, if I had to live without one, see, that's a different question. If you had to go with one for the rest of your life, I'm going to skip desserts. I'm going to take protein. I love my meat, and you're going to survive off of it a lot better. But if you're going unpractical and you're saying, hey, it's not going to affect your weight, even though you're a fatty, you're going to be good. And what would you prefer to have, meats or desserts? Ooh, geez, that's a 50-50. I know that's not an answer you want.
I'm going with
that's almost unanswerable for me.
But you don't get to, see? So that's...
For me, I'm thinking, which one would you rather live without? And I got to say, I don't want to live without proteins in my life.
Yes, on the live without, it's definitely... I'm just going to say I'm the only one out of us that have scored 3 times now. If you're talking about what you got to live without, it's got to be desserts. I'm with you.
That beautiful cross I just put on you, dude.
He says 3 times now, and we've only scored 1 point, so I'm really confused.
Well, that's in this game. Come on.
Yeah, we almost won.
For me, protein or desserts, I'm gonna have to go with desserts, I think, because in this world I'm not gluten.
Oh my gosh!
So I should just be able to eat all the gluten I want.
That's true.
Which is in like every dessert. So I think that's where I'm
All right. So we got Kristen. Got a girl. Thank you, Kristen. And unless you're a guy and your name's Kristen, sorry, Kristen. Gaming questions, since our last few have not been. And she said, what has been the game that you've devoted the most hours to ever?
Well, that's an easy one for me.
Wow.
Is that directed to all of us or just?
That's to all of us. Yep.
Okay. For me, obviously World of Warcraft, hands down. I could be a doctor on that. The amount of time I put in on that game. So, Reckless, welcome to the chat, bro. We're doing a little question and answer. So if you got any questions that you want to throw in, it doesn't matter what they are. We'll talk about them here on the podcast.
It's golf with friends. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, I'm just thinking about the fact that is kind of a serious statement Clint made. If you took the same hours that you poured into WoW, you could be a doctor. That's kind of scary when you really think about that. We could say that about a lot of things in our life, right? I mean, I could say that about fishing or whatever. But it's just weird to kind of think about that. I never put it down on paper like that.
Well, how I know is because it calculates. It's always calculating when you're in the game. Like logged in, so if you took, I think you put /played, it will show the age of your character on that particular character, and I think my main character is like 198 days total or something crazy like that. Of like that's hours put in, yeah. So, it's pretty nuts. I say 198 days. I'd have to really go and look, but I know it was definitely up there, triple digits.
And that's just one character, guys.
So when I look at that, I'm like, dang. That doesn't count all the other games I played in my life either. So, I don't know. It'd be cool if you could calculate that for other hobbies, right? Like fishing, cooking. I don't know. What the kind of stuff we're into. So
okay, mine. There's probably a. Oh no, I was there. She hit me out of the way. There's probably another game that I might have played as much as this game, but I can't remember there being another game that I played as much as this game and enjoyed at the same time, the whole time. You know what I mean? And that would be Left 4 Dead 1.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever devoted and enjoyed a game so much to the point that I'm just going to conquer, every single attribute of the game and make sure I get every achievement, no matter how ridiculous it is, because I've never enjoyed a game enough to keep playing it that much. It's just it's never really happened for me, and it just happened to fall right in the time in my life where I could, you know what I mean? Like I just happened to have the time to do that, and I don't even know if I could, since then have I even had time where I could devote that much time. So is it a fair? You know what I mean? I don't know. Can't say. The one I've devoted the most to.
I think for me it's GTA.
GTA specific one or just the whole brand or
GTA 5 and then online.
okay.
Online, yeah. That's the most you've enjoyed.
Not enjoyed. I just think it's the most I put the most time into. It's got
Yeah,
Yeah.
the question specifically about time. Yeah, how much
Yeah.
have you played it? Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
This Trey Lopez guy is just completely derailing us on purpose.
He is. Trey Lopez.
By himself.
You can burn in a fiery grave, bro.
I think if he
Mike,
scores on us,
Mike Vasilio over on the Facebook says, any thoughts on why GameStop stock exploded on the market? Whew. That's a good question.
I didn't know that they did.
Everybody's trying to get in there for those new consoles, baby.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean,
They've been doing nothing but dying and closing down stores, so that's an interesting question. I don't know why.
Well, they changed their business model.
Yeah, they did. They switched over to this whole, you hang out here and whatnot.
Do you think
and
maybe that's starting to
Game there
improve
and
something?
tournaments. Maybe, yeah.
Now that things
I
are
don't know if
opening up
you-
and people don't have really anywhere to go.
Yeah, I don't know if you listened to that episode, Clint, but we talked about GameStop pivoting. The stores that they didn't close, they opened up lounges and gaming areas with
Yeah.
gaming PCs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some of them are actually a little bit different. It's not like each one's the same. And they've even got tabletop gaming areas in some of them. So they kind of switched over from a store to almost like a gaming cafe, right?
Game
that's
cafe,
kind of what
yeah.
that's how they pivoted, which I think was a pretty good pivot.
Yeah, I know the one here in the Glenpool area where we live. They had started doing that and put on. You can even rent it out for tournaments and stuff.
Yeah. So maybe that might be why. That's the only change that I know of that could have any kind of an effect like that.
Yeah, because they don't have a virtual store going on or anything.
Well, they always do. They've always had online.
Well, when I say virtual,
presence.
I mean like Steam. They don't have.
Oh
anything
yeah,
like that going on.
correct.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Thank you, Mike, for the happy 100th episode. We appreciate it, bro. Hopefully you're not taking too big of a dump right now, because I know usually that's when you jump into our stream, and we love you for it. Yeah, we appreciate it, bro.
Here it comes. It's out there. Somebody get that.
Oh,
Jeez, come on.
no joke. I can't hit it worth nothing tonight.
Mark the Tart says, so far in the podcast, what has been your best story covered so far?
Ooh, jeez. I should have read some of these ahead of time.
Right?
Yes.
Man. I would say most controversial had to be the rape date game
Oh gosh.
that we
Wow.
talked about.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I just throw it out
I
there.
completely forgot about that. You know what this is starting to feel like, this
What?
episode? You know, like when you get to the final episode of like most reality shows, they go through like the whole, taking you back through the rest of that season
Yeah.
before they actually give you the winner and stuff. That's what
Yeah.
this is feeling like. I'm liking it.
Yeah. I just, I could have did something like that, but I'm not going through 100 hours of audio. Sorry.
Well, no, but that's kind of what we're doing. We're
No, yeah.
reminiscing everything that's happened over this 100 episodes, and these questions are bringing a lot of memories that I forget about. Top story that we covered that I can think of. Jeez, that's going to be.
Well, I think it's like it's not top, but it's like best. Like, what was your best, your personal best?
Ooh, my personal best.
So, like, to me, the rape date game, I feel like was one of my best because it's just so, like, nuts, right? It's like, so it's something we don't usually talk about, and it was crazy.
Okay, mine's going to be kind of a dud. That's what I'm going to bring up. I think the one I'm probably remembered for the most, well, maybe first or second most, yes, is Crackdown 3. We covered Crackdown 3 and all the amazing things that it was going to bring. And it was the most hyped I've been for something that ended up being so bad. You know what I mean? I've been more hyped for other games, but never been more hyped to the point that something crashed that far below my hype. That's the first for that. So yeah, that's probably the most memorable. Next to Giganticizing, which was a story we were talking about with Pokemon Go, if I remember right. Back when it was first going crazy.
Man,
Hunter,
I don't know. I really can't just sit here and think of like one I particularly remember as being like my favorite.
We almost got that one, guys.
Okay. Well, okay. So I'll flip the script then, since you're having trouble. Best segment memory for you, as far as what you.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because you're right. News is kind of.
My best segment memory is getting 10 out of 13. No, 10 out of 12 or something like that on that retro gaming quiz last week.
I think you got 12 out of 13, or no, 11 out of 13, something like that.
Okay, just so you guys know, Mike said he is not taking a dump, and they're saying that this GameStop spike, which must be a big one, is people are saying it's a scam, that a lot of traders are jumping into it just to push it up. It's some kind of thing people are doing on purpose. They've maybe inside trading or something like that going on.
Okay.
He said, I remember when you guys played the zombie game. That was crazy. I think that was one of my favorite watching. I think he's talking about when we were playing, what's it called? World War Z. I think that's what he was talking about. Yeah.
That had to be whenever I had a little too much to drink and we were out on the boat. And I don't
Didn't mean to interrupt you, Hunter.
Oh, no, you're good. That was pretty much done.
Whoa, he said it went from $4 to over $100.
Wow.
And nobody would have thought to buy stock in that, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. That seems very crooked. Something's going on. For sure. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
You want to talk about stock? People should have got into, what's it called? Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin went, it's a ridiculous amount. It's like,
Where's that?
0.2 cents or something like that. Whatever it was super, super low back when it first was booming, first getting started, to like over, Clint or Mike would know more because he's kind of the stocks guy, but I think it's like in the almost $1,000. So you're talking about completely you can't even wrap your mind around the kind of money you would have made had you invested in Bitcoin in the beginning. It's just crazy. Same kind of thing for old Elon Musk and the Tesla stuff.
Right.
Boys,
What's up?
What up?
y'all want to play us
No, absolutely
Like
not.
play you what?
on Rocket League?
Yeah.
No, we're doing the podcast still, and we don't want to get serious because we're already doing horrible.
Well, no, I mean we can split up teams. What I'm saying is like
mean
some
just
of
do a
us are
custom
now
match?
team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can do
a
that.
little private match.
Yeah, I can invite you guys to a group and we'll do that. We can do that, right?
Yeah, I'm done.
Good with that.
All right. Hey, we're doing question and answer. If you got anything funny or whatever you want to throw into the live chat, we're doing it. Just so you know. He's already gone.
No, I'm in here. We're just sweating right now.
Sweating.
All
All
right, I'll sit.
Are you going to do yours first? Or?
No, I was just telling Justin. I'll send you guys an invite after this match.
All right.
All right. Peace.
See ya.
I got a.
Oh no, I'm about to knock it in our own goal. Thank you for saving it. I don't know what happened right there.
It says, I am James Blunt.
James Blunt.
Funny joke for me, right?
Okay.
It says, what is your guys' favorite horror game and what's the worst? What is the worst you've been scared on live stream?
Ooh,
On live stream.
That's a good one. Well, you want to go first, Hunter, since you've already seen the question?
Yes. Favorite horror game. Oh, come on, guys. Favorite horror game. Jeez, that one's tough. It's not okay. So my favorite horror game is probably one of the Resident Evils, just because it was so well done. Not necessarily because it was the scariest one I played, right? So I really like that. And that's the favorite one I've played.
Which
The
one
favorite
is
one probably the remake that we played together.
Okay.
2.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was just an epic feeling.
And then the favorite one I've watched other people play is Visage. That one looks, or Visage, I don't know how you say it, but it looks very cool. It looks really creepy. And then getting scared on Live stream? I think the only time I remember getting like truly scared was playing Phasmophobia.
Yeah.
And Clinton would be like, "Yeah, when you're in the trailer." But there's times that I was actually inside.
He was in the house. He was there.
Walked in there. So, but I'll let you go first, Clinton. And if you don't share what I'm thinking of, then I'll talk about it.
Okay.
Nice.
Favorite horror game is such a broad question.
It is,
because there's so many different types of horror games. If we're strictly just talking about horror games played, for me, Resident Evil 7 VR, I'll still stand by it as the scariest I've done, just because of the immersion of the VR, right? So that just took it to a whole nother level. Now, as far as what we've played, including stream, I'd have to say Phasmophobia. Yeah, I'm with Hunter. I mean, because Dead by Daylight was scary, but it was never scary like Phasmophobia was. In that, Phasmophobia, you're always kind of on edge because there's no real warning of what that AI is going to do to you. You know, when you play Dead by Daylight, you hear the heartbeat coming. You know that the killer's on his way. Whereas with Phasmophobia, you just don't know.
What's the time you've been scared on stream?
Like the best has to be Call of Duty, Warzone.
What?
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking you might say that. I know which one Hunter's thinking of, but I was thinking you might say that
because the sound is so like not even in my
he throws his mouse across the room.
Yeah. Literally have thrown my mouse off the keyboard part into the floor. Had to pick it up. So, but that's not like, oh, I'm scared. It's more like, holy crap, you know, the sound.
It's coming back.
But I mean, that's kind of what scary games are anyway, right? But as far as like Phasmophobia goes, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty scary that first time that ghost cornered me in that bedroom. Scared the piss out of me. So.
No, I have one in particular in mind, and it was when we played In Silence.
Oh, In Silence, yeah.
Where you basically crapped your pants on live stream.
Yeah, I do remember that now. Was that from you, or was that from when we were playing with Justin?
We were playing with... I was playing too. It was the very first time we played it, but we weren't playing it like none of us were the monster. We were playing like a computer monster, and we didn't know the mechanics yet. And so Clinton steps on a teddy bear,
yeah,
which brings the monster in because he can only hear. He's deaf. Oh God, I just muffed that. Oh. Man, we're just terrible tonight, guys.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And so he steps on a teddy bear and he's just going about his business still, la, 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 la. And you can hear the monster like running up, up the stairs, and Clinton's just oblivious still. And then all of a sudden, it just pops up in his face, and he's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, that one did give me good. It's because my sound wasn't working right. Okay, I blame it on my headset.
Sure.
Ryan, how about you, bro?
I'm gonna say that my favorite scary game is. I wish I would have played more of it, but I'm probably gonna give it to Resident Evil 7. Okay. The graphics and the depth of that game was just different than anything I've played.
I just watched the gameplay on it, so.
But if I'm going, and that's VR specifically, you know. But if we're going to talk about a game that I've actually put more time into and got to play a lot more, man, I would have to say Resident Evil 2 back in the day on PlayStation. I remember being so scared multiple times when the Licky Tongue guys came out and ripping my controller out of the PlayStation, you know, non-voluntarily. You know what I mean? Just because I was so scared.
Right.
And we're supposed to leave now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And luckily, I remember just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that this pauses your game. And that game had so much intensity to it, not just due to the monsters and the creatures, but due to the fact that you're, you know, every move you make, every bullet you use, if you save and you use your ink, all of that matters. So it was so intense for somebody that I think is younger. So you're just wound up. You're all just wrapped up and then boom, you know, it comes out in the scare. So that's not a live stream scare. That's just probably I'd put that in my scariest game category. And then I would say live stream scare. I don't know, probably when we first started playing Dead by Daylight, because I haven't been live streaming that long. But Dead by Daylight definitely had moments where when their heart's beating, your heart's beating super bad, and it's intense. It wasn't like a spook scare, but if you were to watch my face, you would know I was scared. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I don't think we've played many games that have put me in that actual scared mode, not while we're live streaming. So I'd have to put that game in there.
Yeah. Which we need to get some more of your live face on there. Both of you, really, just to capture some of that stuff. All right. Well, did you have any other stuff?
Not on the scare thing, huh? I've got some other questions, but what do we want to make sure we got this set up right and let these guys know, what we're doing?
Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that. I have one more email on mine. I don't know. You said you're all done on yours, though?
No, I've got one left.
Okay. And Hunter, did you have any more left?
No, that's all I had for now.
Okay. So on mine here, hold on, accidentally.
He said, do you know how to set up custom match? That's what Justin just said.
No, tell him. No.
To do his own and invite us in?
Hold on. Unless you can't do that, I don't know. Okay. Send it to Creeper. He's not even in here, is he? Oh, yeah, there is. Okay, he's got it. What were we saying? Oh. Okay. Did you want to go with your email?
Yeah, I can do mine first. You ready?
Oh, we got a live question over on Twitch from Reckless. He wants to know, if you could be in any animal, what would it be?
Wow. Thank you, Reckless.
Mm-hmm. Deep thought there. I don't know that there's something to that.
My first thought was Liger, which is just comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to be an animal, man, the prideful man side in you says it needs to be some kind of apex predator, like a lion or a shark or something like that. But then as I think about it more, I think, what would be funner? What would be like more enjoyable? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he wants to know why. On that question.
I think that my answer would be, okay.
All right.
So now all three of them are on blue. We're supposed to not be trashed.
Right.
So move off of blue. Okay, so I would say that I would want to be some sort of a monkey, I think.
Okay, so you just want to throw poo, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I've got probably two choices there. If I have to pick one, that's really hard. But my mind says either a monkey or something like a dolphin, because the dolphin would be because to be able to swim so fast and kind of have that, like the freedom of the ocean, almost feels like you're flying, I guess.
Okay.
But I think the ocean is got more in it that's interesting than the sky, so that's why I would pick ocean over bird. Okay. But the reason I said monkey first is because of the
we're all supposed to leave out, by the way. Sorry.
Oh. What happened?
Creeper.
The reason I say monkey first would be because I don't know. I think the way when I watch monkeys in the trees and the way they almost like climb around and jump branch to branch, kind of like weightless on. I mean, it just seems so effortless the way they're climbing around, and monkeys almost always seem happy. Like, when do you see a monkey that looks upset? You know, I mean, I'm not talking about a baboon or a gorilla; they always look mad, but just a regular old like a monkey, almost like a lemur. You know what I mean? Something like that. That's just like hopping around, eating fruit and bugs, and just having some sex and just jumping around the trees. That's all I do. That just sounds fun.
Does. For me, if you're going into the sex territory, rabbit all the way. No problem. Just, I want to procreate this world, Let's get it. So, I don't know, rabbits. But then I think of the whole death part, and I'm like, well, it's pretty rough because you get shot in the head. So, I don't know, unless it can be quick.
What do you mean? If you're a rabbit, you're automatically shot in the head? When did this happen?
Well, whenever we go rabbit hunting, there's a whole rabbit season,
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So, but I mean, I guess that's with anything, right?
Yeah.
So,
you want to be a male rabbit, I'm guessing, because a female rabbit's got a rough
for sure. Yeah, female rabbit, pushing out a lot of babies all the time. But seriously, if I had to pick, I think it'd be cool to be like a shark, Be able to check out the areas that us humans don't normally get to. Just swimming in the water, all you want.
Justin said, stuffed lobby, hang on. Mike on the chat said, the monkey that tore faces off people. I hate monkeys. I don't even know what he's talking about.
I don't know what monkey that is.
I would be a wolf.
Okay.
You'd be a wolf?
Yeah, you get to hang out in pack still. You got friends. And you get to be a hunter.
Yeah. Pet little pack animal.
And his name's Hunter.
Their life's a little rough, though, because you got the whole, alpha male. So you're going to have to rip someone's throat out to get that position. Then you got to keep it.
Well, if I'm cool just being in my spot, that's not a big deal, though,
Yeah, just being a beta. That makes sense for you.
Yeah.
You know how I roll. I don't have to, so as long as I get a hunt and be a part of the pack and,
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I can dig that.
That doesn't seem that exciting when you break it down. We got a monkey, a rabbit, and a wolf, which hunts rabbits. You know what I mean? And a possible dolphin if I decided I didn't want to be a monkey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want the shark killer. Okay.
Yeah.
Or the shark fighter. I don't know if they actually... Can they kill him? I know they're a good defense against them, but can they actually...
Oh, yeah. They kill him.
I guess they just keep ramming them till they're dead?
Yeah, and they work as a team. Yeah.
Rip.
Okay.
Oh, God, I missed.
I got you. Okay. I can dig
It's about to be brutal.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So was that... you said that was it for you, Ryan, or you have one more email?
No, I had one more.
Okay.
Just a second.
Yeah, I have one more as well.
Question was from, and obviously this is not their name. Unless it is, I'm sorry, don't mean to insult you, but their name is Atlas, which actually would be a decent name, I guess. I don't know. Sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of sweet.
Yeah. Atlas is asking, sorry, let's get this launch here. Atlas is asking, did you guys, or have you, or do you, right? Did you, have you, or do you
Okay.
ever wanted to be involved in game design?
Oh, okay.
Get in there, baby.
Oh, I suck. Thank you. Thank you for saving me there.
Yeah. I have in my mind been interested in it. I think as far as coming up with game ideas, as far as the nuts and bolts of it, I don't know if I'd have the patience to stick with that part of it. But yes, the idea part and actually coming up with a neat concept for a game, yeah, for sure.
Yes. Okay, so you want to be the story writer, the teller.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's actually the exact same answer I would give. I would love to come up with some ideas, even for the characters. Like, I want to talk to the guy who's doing the design work. As much as I like designing, a logo design in advertising is completely different than designing a character, and every motion he's got and the textures and the depth that goes into that is, I think, too much for me. Mm-hmm. So I would like to design and come up with the ideas for the games and the imagination behind, basically, hey, this is the kind of character I'm looking for. He looks like this. He's got teeth like this. He's this and that. And then the designer makes my creation come to life. So that would be more like the writer, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. And I think I could see myself doing that, and have always been interested in stuff like that. But in the actual technical side of game design, no. Never really been something on my mind.
Okay. That leads me to an actual question for both of you, but I want Hunter to answer that first question first so we don't get too complicated.
What was the question? I'm sorry. I'm really...
gosh. How did we just do that?
He's like, I just left the podcast. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm really trying to play hard right now. What was the question?
I knew that was going to happen as soon as we jumped in with these guys. The question was, have you ever been interested in game design, or are you interested, or anything along that category?
Oh, yeah. Super, super interested. I just don't think I would be intelligent enough to do that.
Well, to what extent, right? I mean, there's different categories in game design. Me and Clint both agreed that we would be interested in doing the story writing, the telling, the imagination side, but not the actual graphic design side. It's too much detail, too much work.
I don't know, man. I don't know enough about game design to know exactly. Like, obviously, I wouldn't be good at artwork because I'm not a great drawer. But just maybe story writing.
Right. That's kind of where me and him land too. I think story writing would be a blast, but I think the graphic design part of it is not really, has never sucked me in.
Right. Yeah, map design would be pretty interesting, but still not to the degree of I wouldn't want to make the map. Just put together some ideas for the map, probably. So yeah, that's about where I'm at on that. All right. Well, was that all you...
Nope. They actually have two questions. I was waiting to finish that first.
Okay.
Got it. Follow-up question said, if so, do you have any specific games that you think sparked that? I kind of added in there. She just said, what game sparked your interest? But
okay. For me, I don't know.
Wow, probably a big one for you, right? Because it's a big story game.
Yeah, I would almost say, though, even before that, as far as like RPG elements, it'd have to be Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Because that was the first game I got into that was so deep that you was like, oh, I'm walking into a city and I'm talking to townsfolk, like, to get this quest done and trying to figure out this quest. I don't know, it was the adventure of, oh, I've never done this before. It's the unknown. I don't know what this world has to offer me. That kind of thing. That really intrigued me. I love that idea of exploration. Sometimes I feel like games nowadays gives a little too much hand-holding on some things. It's like, I feel like the whole game, they're kind of stringing me in. It's like, okay, first chapter's the intro. Okay, I gotcha. Oh, now here's how they're going to show me my skills here. Okay. Oh, now I'm going to learn how to build my bigger skills. And then, midway into the game, you're finally kind of on your own. But, now the story's kind of leading you. I don't know. I kind of like having more infinite options to your gameplay. That's kind of how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Anything for you,
for
Ryan?
me,
I know you guys are going to hate me for this, but you're going to have to repeat the question again.
What if you were interested, like you said, in writing? They said what game maybe kind of piqued that interest in you. Mine would be if you're talking about design on games, probably one of the games that I very first played and thought, man, this is an interesting, different kind of game, because it's not just storytelling for me. It's more just like gameplay, like a style of game. That's what's interesting to me to try to come up with. And I think Hitman was one of the biggest influences on me. when I first started playing Hitman, my brain started going on a lot of different games and things they could do along that line of, gameplay that's very different from your regular shooter and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Hitman was probably one of the top ones for me.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I would say for me it was horror games.
Okay.
Just watching those indie horror games, I feel like I could make some pretty spooky storylines.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Justin said, use your boost, Clint.
Wow, sorry.
Mike said, I would just like to be the owner of the product.
I like Mike's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I probably got like one more round, guys. I'm going to have to hop off. I've already stayed like an hour later than I was going to do.
Yeah,
alrighty.
You're good. So last email that I got, final question from Brett. He says, what is the hardest...
Ryan, sorry.
Oh. He says, what has been the hardest challenge of being a dad?
Ooh.
It's a toughie.
I can answer that quickly because I'm dealing with it now.
Okay.
I think the hardest question of being a dad is kind of in general. It's about the emotional side of things. And it's, how much is too much? And I don't know if that makes sense, but what is the right level of pushing your kid versus, when it's just time to just support them, or when it's time to, not let them be nervous, or when it's time to, hey, that nervousness is fair. Basically, teaching your kid how to balance their emotions and still grow up to be well-rounded. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we grew up in a generation where emotions were like emotions, schmotions, get out of here. I don't agree with that as I became an adult. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we're also growing up in a generation that has a bunch of sissies.
Right.
And so this idea of balance of how do I make my kid strong and open and confident enough to still keep her emotions. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And be able to control herself while having these strong emotions. That's probably the hardest thing I've ever dealt with as a dad.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe that's I don't know that I'm kind of in a similar thing, but mine's the opposite, right? So mine's more from a headstrong perspective of one of my children. I'll let you guess which one. So it's more for me. It's seeing the certain emotional outbursts at a younger age. That kid is 4, so you have more fit throwing. But there's sometimes it's like fits of anger that I haven't seen in like a normal.
Get in there. Oh, it was in there.
I don't want to make it sound like she's issues, but it's definitely much more intense that I've ever seen any kid have. And so trying to learn to communicate better with my kid.
That's the thing I think, Clint, that I've learned is I think a lot of parents probably have more intensity than they ever seen anybody have because they never dealt with any kid before in reality. Not like you do your own kid. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not around
because
all
I would
the
say,
time. You see the best.
Yeah, because I would say there's things going on in Rory that are stronger than I've ever seen a kid have.
Mm-hmm.
And does that mean there's probably just a lot more kids that act that way and you don't know it because they're not your kid?
Yeah.
That's what I'm coming to terms with and saying, dang, it's, it kind of gives you a more value for parents in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like parents have been dealing with this forever. We're just now learning that it's something you even deal with.
Yeah. And then too, like I've learned with mine, she doesn't like me she doesn't like when I'm loud, which is funny because she used to not act like it bothers her. But, and she is loud. Yeah, that's true. But, just saying things, because I came from a background where, when my mother, for instance, had something to say, it was usually loud and kind of yelling, but it wasn't like always negative, but, just kind of get used to it. So I found that I'm that way. Hey, get out of there! That kind of thing. Quit messing with that. Even that.
And it startles her and hurts her feelings and stuff.
So the other day we were working on some, we were working out actually. I was showing Claire how to do some workout stuff, even though Daddy doesn't use it on a routine basis. and I had her running like some sprints, showing her how that works, you know. And so I was just cheering her on, saying, "Come on, Claire, run, 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 run!" And she started like getting emotional with me, and like told me to stop yelling. Yep. It's making me nervous.
Yep, like, Rory does the same thing, and it might be a girl thing, you know.
Maybe because I'm like,
because Rory goes to that. Like I'm just encouraging you and giving you direction. I'm not. Well, it feels like you're getting on to me, like I'm doing it wrong, and I'm like, no, that's not what's happening here.
Yeah, I told Claire, I was like, I'm not angry. This is I'm cheering you on. She goes, yeah, just don't be loud. It's making me nervous. Yeah. I was like, oh,
that makes
okay,
sense.
well. Yeah. So yeah. There's a lot of things right now as my kid's now older, and I think, you know, she's, I don't know if it's a girl thing or what, but she seems more mature than 4, and so it's learning that hey, she's 4, but mentally she may feel she's older than that, and kind of figuring out like I can't treat her like a 4-year-old all the time because that frustrates her. You know, so little stuff that I never really thought you would deal with as a parent with an individual. It's a lot different. How about you, Hunter? Because you've got a boy, and you know he's younger. So,
yeah, I'm learning to deal with like the balance too. You know, he's so young that he can't communicate with me very well yet.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, understanding what he needs and not going over the top with discipline, and I don't mean like beating my kid, guys. I'm just saying there's times when you should discipline, and there's times where your kid needs to learn naturally. And
by consequences.
Yeah, and
natural consequences.
Just knowing the difference and when to do different things. You know, it can be tough. I know for me, I even have a different parenting style than Natalie does. You know, I was the oldest, and she was the youngest of 4. So you can just imagine there's a difference there. In, you know, the way she was disciplined and even the way I was disciplined as a kid. So it's just different. You know, there's times where I check her on things and she checks me, and it works out, but it's always it's a work in progress being a parent. It really is, you know. It never, as long as you're willing to learn and
that's an epic save. I'm just gonna say,
you have a spouse and you're willing to work together, I feel like that's a parenting win, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, see, we're kind of talking about in general. I don't know if this questionnaire guy or girl was asking like a specific moment that was the hardest one to deal with, or what's the hardest thing as a parent. Those are kind of 2 different things. Hard to pick a specific moment, you know?
Yeah, I think specific, like if it's specific in what really bothers me, probably the most, like what gets me emotional and really bugs me, is when I can't do anything to fix it.
Yeah,
it's the you know, whether it be they're hurt, sick, just that anytime you feel like there's no control, like you have no control of how they're feeling or doing, that really gets to me sometimes. Of like, oh, and it can be simple things of it might not be a big deal to me, but realizing it is to them, kind of thing. So that may go back to kind of how you're feeling with your daughter, Ryan. Of like, there may be situations where it's like you can't help but just kind of let it happen sometimes. So, yeah,
it'd be hard for me to even think of a specific hardest time. Well, I don't know. One of them was probably when I had to be the hardest on her. I don't know that it was hard. I just felt bad, and that was kind of around the same scenario that we've been talking about. And that would be when she was doing Ninja Warrior, and she was just, you know, really letting her nerves get a hold of her to the point where she was getting frustrated. It was making her upset, making her sad at first, and then got her to the point where she's being started getting like rude if you tried to help, you know, teach her or push her, like we're talking about, right? And it was just going like there was no break to it this day. It was just getting worse and worse and worse during this day. And we said, okay, well, we're not going to do this then. We're going to go load up in the car, and I guess we won't do Ninja Warrior. Like it was like the end of Ninja Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And for her, it was the right thing to do because it kind of snapped her out of it. We went and loaded up in the car. She was able to calm down and explain what was going on and understand that she went a reaction. And then from then on out, she did better. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But we were really all the way at the point it was no bluff. That was the end. Mm-hmm. If she didn't change it. And I've never had to really get there with her before. So that was a hard day, a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I know she loves the sport. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Oh. Wow. Nice creep.
I think I had one with Claire where I ended up having to put her to bed because her anger was just so out of control. I didn't really know what else to do. So I was like, well, you're going to bed early. You're tired. You're angry. Let's restart. Mm-hmm. And it helped. It worked. Next day she was much better. So it was better than getting angry. It was better than the option of spanking. It was just, all right, you're going to bed. We'll work on it tomorrow. So, yeah. Well, that's all that's all the questions we got, guys. I don't see any more in the live stream right now. We appreciate it. For those of you listening, man, feel free send in them emails. Let us know what you think. Questions
Mike
you got?
said Benadryl and duct tape is the answer to every parent problem. Mike, I don't think that's true, but we appreciate the input.
Yeah. You might get away with do a little melatonin. Might be a little better than the Benadryl. And no duct tape. Leave the duct tape at home. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No zip ties, no duct tape, none of that.
Well, I enjoyed this, guys. Good 100th episode. Like the question and answers. Keep the questions coming. We'll probably maybe do this again sometime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we may dedicate just a whole little live feed of this if people like it. But just let us know what you think. And we'll get in there and get it done. So we appreciate it, guys. As far as the future of the podcast, we're still here. We're still running. And, we're going to come up with more content as time allows. Everybody's still kind of busy right now. So I promise, though, we will be bringing extra content as soon as we get the time. And if you'd like to support us, go over to our Patreon. You can donate there, or you can just share, get the word out, let people know about us. We would greatly appreciate it. And with that said, guys,
stay delirious,
stay dadding,
and stay gaming. This has been a Delirious Dads production. For more information about the show, visit our website at www.deliriousdadsgaming.com. You can also find us on facebook.com/deliriousdadsgaming, twitch.tv, and YouTube. Make sure you like and share our pages to help us grow the channel. You can listen to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Please leave a rating and review if you enjoy the show. Thank you again for listening, and we hope to see you next time.